as I just grew up and came into my identity and started to understand myself as a Muslim, I started to understand what it meant to be Muslim American and having those two identities coexist. And then when 9/11 came around and you go to school that day, I started, to understand that's why they're looking at me, or maybe others are perceiving me differently now because I'm clearly Muslim.
20 tahun berlalu, namun masyarakat Muslim Amerika tumbuh di bawah bayang-bayang tragedi 11 September. Sikap, curiga, belum, sirna, dari sekeliling mereka. Dalam 20 tahun sejak serangan teroris, mereka juga menghadapi pertanyaan tentang keyakinan Muslim mereka dan keraguan atas identitas warga Amerika mereka.
I felt like empowered to take that step towards wearing the hijab, not only as a step towards my own faith, my own iman, but as I want to take that step to represent my faith in that specific time where Muslims were on the spot.
Adapun Sukri Olo menunjukkan jati diri seorang Muslim dan warga negara Amerika dengan maju dalam dunia politik. Lahir di Somalia, Olo melarikan diri dari perang saudara bersama keluarganya. Mereka tinggal di kamp-kamp pengungsi di Kenya selama bertahun-tahun sebelum datang ke Amerika Serikat ketika Olo berusia 10 tahun.
As a candidate especially who is visibly Muslim in front of cameras, right, that I have to be cautious about kind of how I conduct myself, because I know that for some people it'll be the first time that they meet a Muslim or engage with a Muslim, and I want to make sure that they know that whatever stereotype or image that they had is not the reality for many of us. I think it is actually one of the reasons why I'm running for office, this feeling of being othered and feeling like I don't belong here, and pushing against that rhetoric and saying that this is also my home. This is the country where I've been the longest, almost 23 years now, and wanting to create an environment where, regardless of what other people do, that we know that we belong here, that we are safe here.
Sementara di lingkungan Brooklyn di New York, ingatan Syahana Hanif saat disebut teroris terus membayang hingga kini.
After 9/11, an immediate recollection is being called a terrorist. As a 9-year-old with my sister as we were walking to the mosque across the street, and that has stayed in my body, and it's trauma that I'm holding. And so I recognize that young people who grew up or have a vivid memory of 9/11 need support.
Veteran Marinir Amerika Serikat Mansur Sam yang bertugas dari 2000 hingga 2004 juga tak luput dari beragam pelecehan saat berada di militer Amerika Serikat. Hal ini memengaruhi hidupnya hingga kini.
If you've earned that title of U.S. Marine, you're all the same, right? And you're willing to die for each other. So for me, it is very painful when I reflect on those years, especially the years later now, because I sometimes wonder now, like maybe I would have stayed in longer. And in the Marine Corps, maybe I would have retired from the Marine Corps had I not gone through some of those experiences, because they did greatly impact me as a human being, as a person. I was a person at the end of the day, because I was like, maybe they'll treat me different. Maybe they're like, we don't want them coming here. I don't know, And this is 20 years after 9/11 that I'm still having to feel this way. So we haven't made much progress, right? I mean, I can't call that progress.